I'm here with Onicio Leal, who is a public health expert, an epidemiologist, and a social entrepreneur who has amazing ideas about how this, how we can use the new technologies to help us combat the disease, mitigate it, etc. So, Onicio, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world right now, and what are you seeing as the most powerful ideas?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for this opportunity to speak about that. As everyone can see out there, we are facing a very critical problem in terms of this pandemic of COVID-19. And there are some, let's say, rules that the officials are saying to us, like, we need to test, and we need to keep social distance and things like that. But as a matter of fact, the resources are so limited. Even in developed countries like Switzerland or US, we are moving to alternative methods to evaluate the dimension of this epidemic, because test everyone is going to be happening that way because the resources are so limited. That's why this theme around crowdsourcing for health and participatory surveillance are becoming very popular again. As a matter of fact, this is not new. Participatory surveillance to fight epidemics is from 2003. That started here in Europe with InfluenzaNet, which is a consortium where people from several countries here in Europe can go to a website and make a self-report of symptoms related with influenza. And then the government can take this information, or researchers can take this information and to understand the flu activity in some territory. And I mean, this is about to have information in a facile manner that helps to understand better where diseases are occurring, and then support decision makers to understand where is the place that have to be the priority for interventions.
Okay, so could you step back at one level and just tell us what is the definition of participatory surveillance?
Okay, yeah. Let's say that participatory surveillance is only the technical term for crowdsourcing to fight disease outbreaks.
Yeah.
And I mean, crowdsourcing is beautiful because it's the way that we can build collectively, build ideas in a way that we are getting more people contributing with that. It's a collaborative way to create ideas or informations or even solutions like that. And when this started to being used in health, it becomes participatory surveillance, disease surveillance.
Okay, so what you're saying is the first time it was tried was in 2003 in Europe using a site. That, I guess, is before the smartphone revolution. Now we're all carrying supercomputers. How are things different now?
Yeah, actually, this is really tricky because I mean, we don't have 100% about certain that to use smartphones to collect or to serve as interfaces for this approach, this is the best way to do it. So we can see in several countries groups or institutions doing participatory surveillance through websites or through smartphones or even through SMS and text messages from the phone. So, I mean, the interface are not important. Which is important is the engagement and collaboration of people generating those informations about health settings and scenarios.
Okay, so and what I'm hearing from you is that like there are a lot of like siloed and isolated perspectives. What are the global solutions? What are the top three kind of solutions if you have any ideas?
I mean, this is very complex. I don't think that anyone across the globe has this answer about the best solution. But of course, the combination of different and existing solutions are maybe are the best way. Of course, test maybe would be always the gold standard to understand that. But we are seeing many experience in Italy and US that are using mobility change patterns and data to understand if people are keeping a social isolation, if people are stopping to go out there and to move themselves, promoting more diffusion or dissemination of the virus. I think this would be one pillar to fight that epidemic. I mean, the term of understand mobility patterns and social mixing and things like that. Contact tracing would be the second pillar, I would say, that we can use. And of course, when we say contact tracing, we are touching the boundary of ethical and ethics limits. And it's really to say that, because we are facing a totally new event right now. And if we are talking about innovation or disruptive methods to fight this pandemic, of course we will touch in the ethics boundaries. And we just need to find a balance between ethic and benefits for the public health goods. And I think social contact tracing would be a thing that we can take advantage about their benefits, but also you just need to consider the ethical part. And the third pillar would be the participatory surveillance of crowdsourcing, which is the thing that we are working specifically in Brazil. We just released a platform called Brazil Sem Corona, and we are seeing many users coming every day and report their symptoms. And of course, this will help the local government to understand the disease where the diseases are spreading mostly. Because I'm not sure if you guys saw, but there are these statistics about the subnotification of cases of coronavirus. And for example, in Brazil, only 12% of cases are notified. I mean, we have 88% of cases that government has no clue about where they are happening. Yeah. And if we combine these three pillars, maybe we are having the most powerful tool to complement the way that we are getting that information about the dissemination of this coronavirus epidemic. And since we are talking about a collaborative tools, we always will face the problem of engagement. And to active this kind of behavior in people in terms of why should I contribute with that? Why I need to report or download an app and report every single day my symptoms, or even if I don't have symptoms, I need to report that I'm healthy. Why should I do that? And if you get another experience of crowdsourcing, not related to health, but related to traffic and transit informations, we can have Waze. And Waze probably is the most used platform for crowdsourcing across the globe. And why people are concerned more about transit and traffic than the health. Yep. So we just need to understand these triggers in our minds in terms of how can we get people on board in this way to build this community, healthy communities through collaborative information. And maybe this would be the most important challenge in crowdsourcing or participatory surveillance.
And I see. So, and you know, it's a very complex issue, because Facebook has the best social graph, but they've been plagued by privacy problems on one side. On the other side, you know, Zuckerberg Chang Foundation has donated like 25 million to help, you know, to the Gates Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, etc. But they have the graph, the social graph, the contact tracing. But, you know, people aren't going to easily give that up because of the other privacy concerns. So like, you know, and then there's Apple. So it's kind of like the big tech players, they have the best data, they have the best chance of helping. Everyone's a bit scared about the privacy concerns, you know? So how do we solve this?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we are living this situation that we are launching or using innovative or disruptive ways to try to fight this pandemic. And of course, this will touch the boundaries of ethics limits. And again, it's just to understand the balance between to touch or to get in the ethical aspects, and also to respect the privacy and the data protection from users' perspective. But you mentioned that these big players are funding experiences and things like that. And another thing that concerned me is about we are seeing a lot of hackathons in these times just to build new solutions. And I mean, personally, I like so much of hackathons, but I don't think that we are living in a situation that we can build a tool in 3 days and then release them to the public with no tests as a prototypes. And we are dealing with human beings. We are dealing with lives. Mm-hmm. And to me, it doesn't make sense that hackathons would be the best solution of it, or the solution that will solve this problem comes from a hackathon. And maybe we are not in the right timing to get these solutions from hackathons. Instead, we just need to join the efforts and to use the existing experience, the existing projects that are working with this epidemics mitigation. Let's use what we have already available, and let's avoid to try to use prototypes to solve this very complex problem.
Okay, so let's assume that we in this event have a kind of global audience from Europe, the States, etc. What are the tools that our audience can use? Is there anything that is working across geographies, or like those is the main resource? But what are the main possibilities?
Yeah, it's definitely is a challenge to find or even to build or to create this initiative that can converge all of the countries in a single platform. What we are seeing is several countries deploying and implementing their own solutions. For example, in US, we can see COVID Near You. COVID Near You is a platform based in FluNeU, which is the biggest platform for crowdsourcing for health from Boston Children's Hospital and led by my friend Dr. John Brown's team. COVID Near You was deployed in 15-20 days ago, and they are getting these symptoms related to COVID, just to understand the distribution of disease and complementing the traditional and official sources about the dissemination of these epidemics. Here in Europe, we have Corona Tracker, specifically here in Switzerland. And we are seeing really interesting results. Over than 170,000 users are doing their reports every single day, helping to understand this dissemination of it. Back to Brazil, we have this Brazil Sem Corona, and if we see Brazil as a big country, of course this is a challenge, engage people across the country. But we are seeing a lot of big cities there using and reporting the symptoms every single day. That I mean that we will not have a single platform that will concentrate and converge all of the data across the countries. But of course, we have good platforms already running in several countries. And if maybe you just need to take a look and search the platform that is running this initiative for coronavirus in your country and engage with them, just make the data more powerful to understand this epidemiological situation.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing from that is that everyone who is listening to this should do a quick Google search for their country, find out what is available, if anything is available, and just sign up and start getting involved, because that's a small action we can all take, and you have the network effects. The thing becomes more valuable the more people, then you have to share it with your friends as well. So that's a kind of takeaway for everyone watching.
Yeah, definitely. For example, like Australia has the most engaged platform for crowdsourcing of health, which is flu tracking. But flu tracking was related with flu, but now they are just turning the platform to collect symptoms related with coronavirus specifically. And then this is happening in other countries as well. So you just need to put in Google some participatory surveillance thing, and find the platform that is existing in your country just to engage with them and starting reporting your symptoms there.
Very nice, very nice. And so I have a list of questions here just to run through. What kind of frameworks would you use to build these kinds of strategies? I mean, you're involved in the creation of these strategies. That's your work, right?
Yeah. I've spent the last 10 years developing technologies to fight epidemics in different countries. Yeah, and there is a framework that I've created that I think is very useful if we are talking about platforms to deal with such complex problems like this epidemic. This framework I call as IRED, which is interfaces, recruitment, engagement, and data. So starting for the letter I, for interfaces, as I mentioned before, we don't need to stick with a single solution like a smartphone or mobile app or something like that. Why not use SMS, text message in countries that we don't have a kind of capillarity or dissemination of smartphones? Maybe SMS would be very good. Even in Europe, there is an initiative here in Switzerland that they are using SMS to make this participatory surveillance among doctors and nurses. Mm-hmm. So explore interfaces are very useful and helpful to understand the way that we collect data. Recruitment, the second letter R, recruitment. So recruit people in such this situation are tricky also because sometimes they can just misunderstand the purpose of this platform, thinking that we are taking advantage about some financial or pecuniary aspects to deploy that. But no, we just need to be clear in our message and show the people that we are helping governments or specialists to understand better the situation. And if we can show that in the recruitment aspects, of course, we will have more users coming and reporting things. Engagement, the third letter, E, engagement. So engagement will be always the most important challenge to solve in this crowdsourced platforms based. And it's not that easy to engage people and motivate them to report every single day. But we can take advantage about existing tools related with, for example, behavior economics. Why not use nudging to get people reporting every single day? Why not use just-in-time interventions to get them motivated and making in the perfect timing, asking them to report those things and show them that their participation is very important to build more health communities. And the last letter, the D, is about the data. We don't need to create long forms or don't need to create only a channel to collect symptoms if we don't know how to use the data. So to create these data-driven inputs is very important because this kind of first step in your platform will release and will give you more insightful informations about the whole scenario. So think carefully about the kind of data that you are collecting will be the key to generate powerful insights of it. So I think this framework is one of the possibilities to apply in some technology that can face such complex situations like this pandemic of COVID-19.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we're just about to wrap up, and thank you for sharing your kind of I guess the super academic and the super macro perspective on how to solve this. It's a very different perspective from what most of our speakers have been talking about, which is like personal things that we can do, health-wise, immunity-wise, resilience-wise. Now, we covered a kind of like key action that people can take. Which was, looking for your local solutions and government programs and things like that, spending a bit of time researching that and then getting involved. Are there any other kind of parting nuggets that you'd like to leave people with that, that are also very valuable from your point of view? I mean, like from my side, I think that, if you look in your country and you see that there's nothing there, it might be an opportunity, an idea to get involved and try to do something, especially because a lot of people are, looking at career shifts and like redundancies and this kind of thing. What else would you suggest?
I think that the collaborative mindset is going to be very important in the current situation. So people understand that their information, their self-report of symptoms will be important to help the community to overcome this situation. This is the key message that I would like to share and to ask people to understand that. The collaboration is very important. The crowdsourcing is very important. And since we have these tools that can improve the way that government or officials or scientists understand this situation in the territory, why not engage with them? So understand that you have a power to make part of this construction of health scenarios. If you can do that, go for it. So just engage with existing platforms, or if you are in a country that doesn't have that, just create one based on the existing experience.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again, Onicio. We will be leaving your contact details, your resources in the speaker notes section. And I would like to thank you very much for being a part of the Health Hacking Summit. And looking forward to the next episode, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Cut.